Okay, today is July 12th. This is a recording that I did 15 minutes after market open during Asia. So I am in California, so Pacific time. On my Tradovate, it's Central time, I think. So what I was looking at, this is the 4 hour, this is the daily. I don't know, I have the 4 hour there again, and then this is the 5 minute on TradingView. I purchased the plus just because 4 charts is easier to explain rather than toggling back and forth. So right when I open the charts, my bias is bearish. So looking at the daily right here, you can see that it opened up with a red candle all the way down, and now it's trading between the 30 and the 9 moving average. The 9 is the red, and then the 30 is the blue. So my overall bias is bearish, also based off of this candle too. I was also considering the fact that if we do come down, it can tap this 9 and then potentially make a run back up because it is trading in a wedge right now. Let me see if I can pull it up here. So you can see this is what I've drawn. I've been keeping an eye on this trend since I've seen it last week. So either this has a dip down and then come back up. So that's basically what I was seeing. Also, this is the now chart, and this is the recording. So here's what I was looking at. The 4 hour is to me bearish because look how far it is trading below the 9. Typically, I don't like to trade these just because it's a little bit more riskier. This 4 hour could eventually become a huge wick and then start pushing up. So what I was looking for is pretty much a quick move down to the 30 if it does happen, and then take my profit there. This is Tradovate. This is my Lucid funded accounts, all 5. What I was looking at here is the 5 minute. This is my 15 and this is my 30. The previous scene I showed you the 4 hour and where my bias was, hoping that it comes down to the 4 hour 30 moving average weighted. It's a little messy on this one just because I have the settings enabled to show the high, the open, I think this is the middle and the low price, and then this is the current price. So that's the orange line. I remember I was actually looking for a short trigger on this candle right here. Eventually, luckily I did not get in. So what I look for is a pullback towards the 9 for a short and then a close of the 5 minute red candle. Since that was a 5 minute red candle with a nice red body, I'm going to look for the next entry candle, which is my trigger candle. So this candle kept flipping back between, actually it never really flipped red if I remember, because I had my mouse on the sell button. So once it flipped green, and that's when it was pretty much invalidated, and then you have this following green candle. So my next red candle is where I was looking for short right here, and this is going to be the candle that I enter on. So I'll play this one out. Okay, so I made the mistake of recording my screen for 4 hours. Basically, what I was trying to do is record the entire price action and go over it on the video, but now I can't edit it because it's a 4 hour video and it's turned out to be like a 5 GB file size. So what I'm going to do is speed up this video here. Basically what this is it's still my Lucid account, all 5 accounts. I'm about to hit the sell short button here. Let's just speed it up.
Order filled.
All right, so I am in 1NQ. I'll eventually move that down. It shows MNQ because I actually entered in MNQ. See that I enter in on my Lucid. I also did enter in on my Tradovate accounts. So those only have $900 left to get funded. This trade does take some time because it does chop around a little bit. The blue line is my entry, 29,889. Okay, here, let me pause that real quick. You saw where I hovered the mouse right here. Basically what I was trying to do is tell you that this has potential to pretty much come down all the way to the 30 moving average on the 4 hour. So that's my target right there. So I'll have this blue line That blue line is my target. But as I said in my last video, I never commit to the target because I never know what's going to happen between that time from my current position to when that target hits. So you'll see what happens later on pretty much why I got out when I did. Here you go. You can see all the numbers. Negative 100. So, okay, and my stop loss, I did move it. It's a little bit above 10 points. So what I like to do is do a stop loss of a little bit above 10 to 15 points. And you can see I don't move that stop loss at all. Skip, skip. I did not like the doji on that 5 minute, but I still have
Order filled.
It's trading below the 9. That previous order filled right now was my Tradovate. So now it's dipping. So you can see my P&L right here. About almost $300. Big red candle. I like that. And it's still halfway towards the 30 moving average, which I just pointed. Okay, so the blue line or the blue square is pretty much my profit target. Let me pause this video. So this blue line or blue zone is what I like to call it, is a prediction of where price is going to go. So the moving averages are dynamic, which means it's also a lagging indicator, so it's always going to be trailing behind. So my prediction is if it does have a move up, this moving average, the 30, is going to eventually curl back up to this blue line. So it's really never just kind of, okay, well, this blue line is right here. This is probably where price is going to go. I usually have it a little bit slightly above because if it does start moving on the opposite direction, this candle flips green or something like that, this is going to eventually move up and maybe we might have a quick flush down before moving up. So that was my thought process at that time, and that's why I put that blue zone right there. Saw this wick. I did not like that wick. I was kind of hesitating on getting out, but I really wanted to work on holding throughout the strategy. You know, if once I'm pretty confident in it, I want to be able to hold it. So this is where I was getting a little bit worried. It is kind of moving up on the above the 9, but I was actually very tempted to just close out the position because I never know if it's going to have a move up. But since we had a big bearish momentum down, I just decided
Stop filled.
to keep it. Oh, let me pause that. So that stop filled was actually my Tradify. I don't know if I ever bring that into view, but let me just
Stop filled.
more. So okay, so I was heavy on Tradify. I believe I got into 4 contracts. It took me out for 2 contracts, and I was still in 2 contracts. So took out 2, still in 2. So now it's rejecting the 9. Here's where I'm pretty confident in it. I'm starting to see selling pressure come in. It needs to
Order
break
filled.
this candle, and let me pause this video. That order filled was my Tradify window. Just added in more contracts, so I believe 2 contracts in total, bringing it back up to 4 contracts. So on evals, I play kind of heavy.
Order filled.
That order filled was actually my Tradify. I got out of the position for about 1500, but since Tradify is 40% consistency, the target is 3000. 40% of that, I can't make more than $1,200. So I had to lose a little bit more money after that trade. So let's resume.
Order filled.
All right, so I got out of that position for $716 across all accounts, about $3,500. Pretty much this is my strategy. I did get out on the double bottom, so luckily I did, because what happens after, it just pretty much shot way up, and also the new 4-hour is about to form. So I believe when I exited, it was actually 10 minutes from the next or the new 1-hour candle. So what I do is I play pretty cautious with the 1-hour candle or any new main time frame that I look at, because volatility tends to kick in on each new candle, and that's exactly what happened on this trade. So let me speed it up. Let's look at this 5-minute candle right here, big green candle, and now we're just gonna see a flush up. Oh, and look at how the 9 tapped look at how the 15-minute candle wicked and tapped that 9 moving average. And now we're just forming a really large bottom wick. So potentially we'll see a move up, and yes, it does. There we go. So now this just keeps grinding on up. I believe I was looking at the 30-minute here, blew past the 9, and the next resistance I'm looking at the 30. Taps the 30 right there. If you saw that top wick, this is on 2x speed, so that's why the candles are moving really fast. So it's tapping that 30 moving average, it's acting as resistance, and now it blew right through it. So I'm kind of staying out of this trade for now. And I believe this is the new hour, 4 minutes into the new hour, so that's why I kind of stay out of like new hour candles, or try to get out of a trade before, or gauge based off of where my trade's going to be based off of the time frame. So look at the 30. I think I circle it too, if I remember. You can see this is the daily. Green candle is the daily, and you can see that bottom wick is now moving up, and it was flat. If you remember, it was flat, and it's now going to tap the 9 moving average, and that's really what I was looking for. So here, this wedge I've been looking at for about a week. So if we break above this wedge, I'm assuming we'll see a run up, and eventually this 9 moving average is going to cross right over to the 30. So looking at the 1-hour candle, look at that wick. It hit the 30 as resistance, and now it's just hovering above that area. So what I'm looking for now is either a move down, and then you can get in for a long. But what I want to look for is this candle keeps going up. I want to see red candle, red candle, red candle, and then a 5-minute green candle to the direction that I want to play. So if that candle never comes, then it saves me from getting into a fake out. Red candle here. I don't know if I was around, but I stepped away from the computer for a bit. But this is pretty much what I would look for in a long setup. So what I look for is this green candle close, and also I base it off of how the candle closes, or how the candle forms too. So you have a top wick and a big green body. It tells me that there's some buying pressure, but some sellers kind of pushed it down. Next candle, I don't really get in until it breaks above the previous 5-minute candle, or that I see it came down and made a larger bottom wick, which tells me that buyers are trying to push it back up. So let's play this one out. And is this on 2x speed still? Yep. Okay, so let me skip this. You can see that now it flipped red, and that's exactly why I did not take that long. And this is why it's important to just kind of gauge like how the candle is forming. So now we're having a big red candle. It's breaking below the previous 5-minute candle. I'm seeing that it's invalidated now. So sometimes when this happens, what I would look for is another green candle. And if that green candle comes, then I'll wait for that same process again to see how the next candle forms. And then based off of how that candle forms is when I enter my trade. What I like to see is when that 5-minute candle closes green, the new candle needs to pretty much come down a little bit, either halfway down to the candle, previous candle, and then come back up, forming a nice bottom wick, which tells me buyers are resuming the trend, and that's when you get in on the momentum. All right, so this would have been a good short, but I did not take this play because the 5 is still above the moving averages. The 4 hour, or sorry, the 1 hour is still, you know, the 9 is still above the 30. The 9 is still above the 30 on the 5. So what would be a good play is that if this keeps coming down, this can curl up, and eventually by the time it curls up, this 9 is below the 30. All right, guys, I don't want to make this video too long, but you can see the 4 hour is right here. You can see that it did hit my target, my 30 moving average, and you can see the next 4 hour bounces right off of it. So now you can see the consolidation. What you can do now is look for shorts. This would have been a great short. What I'd look for here is red candle, and then once you see this, enter the short right below the break of that. Pretty common bear flag continuation pattern. And then pretty much same thing here. See how it's rejecting that top wick on the 5 minute, the 30 moving average. There's a top wick on that current candle right there. And then eventually it just probably gives up. Let's skip out. Yep, you can see that it just gives up here. So now what I would do, wait for this candle to close 5 minutes. I don't know what happens here. I was out. I was actually picking up food during this time. So now this is exactly what I was looking for. See that 5 minute, I don't know why I'm pointing, you guys can't see it. That 5 minute candle right there, see that bottom wick? That's what I like to see. Now sellers are pushing it down. Okay, there we go. There's that flush. You would have set a stop loss like somewhere like right here, 10 points above. And now that's profit right there. That's a whole, I can't even see it. That's probably like a 40-point move right there. And then let's see how far it goes. And it still keeps going. Skip some more. All right, see that green? Probably just get out right there. You can see large red, small red, and then I'd probably look to get out. Profit's profit. Thanks for watching, guys. That's my strategy.